The marketplace of Tarvek City was always full of noise. Merchants shouted, machines hummed, and hundreds of alien species rushed through the streets. Bright signs glowed above the stalls selling food, tools, and rare crystals. In all this noise, nobody paid attention to the small figure sitting in the shadows. She was an old alien woman. Her skin was pale and wrinkled, her clothes torn and covered in dust. She looked weak, like the wind itself could push her down. She sat near a broken pillar, holding a small wooden stick for support. Her eyes were tired, but there was still something sharp hidden deep inside them. People passed by, but no one stopped. Some looked at her with disgust. Others whispered that she was a beggar, a liar, a crazy old fool. A group of alien children even threw small stones near her feet, laughing as she tried to cover her face. She opened her mouth to speak, but her voice was dry, weak, almost lost in the air. Nobody cared. Nobody listened. Then came a human. He was not a man yet, just a teenage boy, maybe 16. His name was Aaron. He was new to this city, wandering after finishing a small delivery job. His clothes were simple and his shoes were worn out, but his eyes were curious and kind. He walked past the busy stalls when he noticed her. At first he thought she was just another beggar. But when he looked closer, he saw the way her hands shook, the way her lips trembled like she wanted to say something but could not. Something in his heart told him she was not just poor, she was lost. Aaron walked closer. Are you okay?" he asked softly. The old alien lady lifted her head. Her voice cracked like dry wood. "Water," she whispered. Aaron quickly opened his small bag. He had only one bottle of water left. It was supposed to last him the whole day, but without thinking twice, he gave it to her. She grabbed it with shaking hands and drank slowly, drops falling down her chin. When she finished, her cloudy eyes filled with tears. You saw me?" she said in a broken voice. Aaron frowned. "Of course I saw you. Why wouldn't I?" Her lips trembled again. "They walk past me. They don't want to see. They fear me." Aaron felt strange. Fear? Why would anyone fear a weak old woman? But as he looked around, he noticed people staring. Some pulled their children away. Some muttered words he didn't understand. It was as if he had broken an unspoken rule by helping her. "Do you have somewhere to go?" Aaron asked carefully. She shook her head. "Nowhere, no one. I am forgotten." Aaron sat down near her, ignoring the whispers from the crowd. "What's your name?" he asked. The woman hesitated. Then she whispered, "I had many names, but now none." Aaron tilted his head. Her words were strange, almost like riddles. But before he could ask again, she leaned closer. Her voice dropped low, almost like a secret. "Do not tell anyone you spoke to me," she said. "They will come if they know. They always come." Aaron felt a shiver run down his back. The way she said it, so certain, so serious, made him uneasy. "Who would come, and why? Who are they?" he asked. The old lady closed her eyes for a moment, as if fighting memories too heavy to speak of. Then she opened them again, and her voice carried a sudden strength. "I was once a guide," she whispered. "I carried ships through storms of fire. I watched stars fall and rise again. I warned them of what was coming. But they called me a liar. So they cut me out, threw me away." Aaron's eyes widened. He didn't know if she was mad or telling the truth. But there was something powerful in her words. They didn't sound like a story. They sounded like scars. Before he could reply, a shadow moved in the corner of his eye. Across the market, two tall figures in dark cloaks were watching. Their faces were hidden, but their eyes glowed faintly. Aaron noticed they weren't looking at the crowd. They were looking straight at the old woman. And now at him, the old lady saw them too. Her hand clutched his wrist tightly. "It is too late," she whispered. "They know." Aaron's heart started to race. He had only wanted to help a lost woman. But now in that crowded market, he felt like he had stepped into something dangerous. The old alien lady leaned close, her voice trembling but clear. "Listen, human child. I carry the map to survival in my mind, and now you are part of it." Aaron froze, his breath caught in his throat. He didn't understand what she meant, but the words burned into him like fire. He looked back at the cloaked figures. They were moving closer, and for the first time he realized this old forgotten stranger was not just a beggar. She was something far more important, someone carrying a secret worth hunting. Aaron's heart was still racing as he guided the old alien woman away from the crowded market. The two cloaked figures were still watching, their eyes glowing faintly in the shadows. He didn't know who they were, but every step he took made him feel like danger was crawling closer. He turned into a narrow street, quieter than the busy stalls. The old woman leaned on him for support. She was weak, her legs shaking, but her grip on his arm was strong, almost desperate. They stopped near a half-broken bench under a flickering light. Aaron helped her sit down. She looked at him with tired eyes, and for the first time she smiled. A small, fragile smile, almost like she hadn't used that expression in years. "You gave me water," she said softly. "No one else would. Do you know what that means?" Aaron shrugged. "It just means you were thirsty." "Anyone should help," she shook her head. "No, it means you are not blind. You are not like the others. You still see." Aaron didn't fully understand her words, but he felt a strange warmth in his chest. There was something about her presence that made the world feel heavier, yet more meaningful. "Here," Aaron said, opening his small bag again. He took out a piece of bread he had saved. "Eat this. You look like you need it more than me." Her hands trembled as she took the food. She ate slowly, like every bite was a treasure. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "You remind me of someone," she whispered. "Who?" Aaron asked. "My son," she said. Her voice cracked. "He was kind, like you. He believed me when no one else would, but they took him away." Aaron felt his stomach twist. He wanted to ask what had happened, but he could see the pain in her eyes. He didn't want to push her deeper into sorrow. Instead, he said gently, "I don't know why people are afraid of you. But I'm not." The old lady closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering strength. Then she leaned closer, her whisper sharp like a knife. "They fear me because I know the truth," she said. "And truth is dangerous?" Aaron frowned. "What truth?" She glanced around, making sure no one else was listening. Her voice dropped even lower. "The stars are changing. Something is coming. I warned them years ago. I told the leaders, the commanders, the rulers. But they called me a liar. They punished me. They tore away everything I had." Aaron's skin prickled. Her words felt heavy, too real to be the ramblings of a confused elder. "And now?" he asked carefully. She touched her head with trembling fingers. "The map is still here, burned into my mind. They could not take it from me. That is why they follow me. That is why they want me dead." Aaron looked at her in shock. "A map to what?" Her lips curled into a faint, bitter smile. "To survival. To the one place still safe when the darkness comes." Before Aaron could ask more, he noticed movement at the end of the street. The same cloaked figures had followed. They were moving slowly, their steps too calm, too deliberate. The old woman's hand clutched his tightly. Her strength surprised him again. "They are here," she whispered. "Do not run alone. If you run, they will catch you. Stay close to me." Aaron's throat went dry. His heart pounded. He was only a teenager, not a fighter. He had never been chased by shadowy hunters before. He wanted to run, to disappear, but something inside him told him he couldn't leave her. "Why me?" he asked in a shaking voice. "Why did you talk to me? Why give me this secret?" Her eyes glowed faintly in the dim light, filled with pain but also strange hope. "Because you saw me," she said. "And because I think fate has chosen you." Aaron almost laughed at the word fate, but the seriousness in her tone stopped him. He felt the weight of her words press down on him. The cloaked figures stepped closer. Their movements were slow, careful, like predators circling prey. Aaron swallowed hard. "We need to hide," he said quickly. The old woman nodded. With surprising speed for her age, she pulled herself up, leaning on Aaron's shoulder. Together they slipped into another alley, their footsteps echoing softly. As they moved deeper into the shadows, the woman whispered again, "This kindness you gave me today, it may save more lives than you can imagine." Aaron didn't understand how giving water and bread could mean so much, but as he looked back and saw the glowing eyes of the cloaked figures following, he realized this was no small act. He had stepped into a story much bigger than himself. And now, there was no turning back. The city never truly slept. Even when night fell and the twin moons glowed above Tarvek, the streets were alive with lights, voices, and movement. Aaron guided the old alien woman through the back alleys, away from the glowing stalls of the marketplace. He thought they had lost the cloaked figures, but his nerves told him otherwise. He could almost feel eyes on his back. The woman walked slowly, leaning heavily on his arm. Her breathing was rough, but her grip was strong. She was no ordinary elder, he could feel it. Every step seemed to echo with secrets. "Why are they following us?" Aaron asked in a low voice. They fear what I know, she whispered. But fear does not make them stay away. Fear makes them hunt. Aaron's stomach tightened. He glanced behind them. At first the alley looked empty, only shadows stretching across stone walls. But then he noticed movement. A figure paused at the corner, half hidden but watching. A second one appeared a moment later. His pulse quickened. They're still here. The old lady's eyes narrowed. She did not look surprised. They always follow. Like wolves, Aaron swallowed. He was just a boy, not a soldier, not a hero. He had no weapon, no plan. The only thing he had was his decision not to abandon her. That thought gave him courage but also filled him with fear. They turned onto a busier street. Bright lamps lit the area, and alien vendors shouted their late-night offers. But even in the crowd, Aaron felt the same pressure, eyes burning into him. The old woman tugged his sleeve. Keep walking. Do not look back too much. Shadows are patient, but they are watching. Aaron forced himself forward, pretending to be calm, but his mind kept racing. Who were they? Why care about a weak old woman unless she really did carry something powerful in her mind? He remembered her words. The map to survival. Could it be true? Or was he risking his life for the delusions of someone abandoned long ago? As they walked, the crowd began to thin. A group of alien soldiers marched past, their armor gleaming under the lamps. Aaron felt a sudden urge to call for help, but the woman grabbed his arm tightly. No, she hissed. Not them. Especially not them, Aaron froze. If even soldiers could not be trusted, then who could? They slipped into another side street. The air here was damp, the walls covered in strange glowing moss. The city noise faded, leaving only their footsteps. Aaron risked a glance back. His heart jumped. Two cloaked figures were moving through the crowd, closer now. They're coming, he whispered. The old woman nodded, calm in a way that made Aaron more afraid. I told you. They will never stop. Her words sank into him like ice. This wasn't going to end tonight. If he stayed with her, danger would follow. But if he left her, what then? The thought made his chest tighten. Suddenly a faint voice echoed behind them. There he is. Aaron's blood ran cold. The woman gripped his arm. Do not panic. They expect you to panic. Instead, listen. He leaned closer. Listen to what? To your heart, she said. Her cloudy eyes glowed faintly in the moonlight. It brought you to me. It will guide you now. Aaron didn't know whether to feel comforted or more terrified, but there was no time to argue. The sound of boots was growing louder. They rushed forward. Aaron spotted an abandoned shop ahead, its doors broken, its windows cracked. He helped the woman inside. Dust filled the air and broken shelves lay scattered across the floor. They crouched behind a counter, holding their breath. Aaron could hear footsteps outside, slow and deliberate. A shadow moved past the cracked window. Then another. The woman leaned close to his ear. Her whisper was sharp and heavy with meaning. This is your choice, human child. Leave me here and they may spare you. Stay with me, and your life will never be the same. Aaron clenched his fists. His heart was pounding so loudly he thought the hunters could hear it. But in that moment he knew the answer. I'm not leaving you, he whispered back. The old woman's lips curved into a faint smile. Then the path has chosen you. Outside, the shadows paused. For a moment, silence filled the street. Then one of the figures spoke in a deep, distorted voice. Hand over the woman. She is not yours to keep. Aaron froze. They knew exactly where he was. The woman touched his hand, her voice trembling but strong. Do not give me to them. If you do, the stars themselves will pay the price. Aaron looked at the cracked doorway. Two glowing eyes stared back at him from the dark, and in that instant he realized he was no longer just a boy hiding in a broken shop. He was standing at the edge of something far greater, something terrifying. The shadows had found them, and the real story was only beginning. The air inside the broken shop was heavy with dust. Cracks in the roof allowed thin beams of moonlight to fall across the floor. Aaron's chest rose and fell quickly as he crouched behind the counter with the old alien woman. Outside, the cloaked figures waited, their glowing eyes scanning the shadows. Aaron whispered, What do they want from you? The woman's eyes, cloudy yet sharp, locked onto his. They want what I carry, what they could never take. Aaron swallowed. You mean the map? The one you said was in your mind? She nodded slowly. Yes, it is my curse and my duty. For a long moment there was only silence between them. Aaron could hear his own heartbeat echoing in his ears. He wanted to understand. He wanted to know why she was being hunted, why everyone feared her. Finally, he asked, "Tell me, who are you really?" The old woman looked down at her frail hands. Her voice came soft at first, then grew stronger as if the weight of the past gave it power. "I was once a navigator of the stars," she said. "Not just any navigator. My people called me Starseer. I could guide ships through storms where no machines could work. My mind could see paths through the fire of collapsing suns, through the storms of magnetic seas. Thousands trusted me to lead them." Aaron's eyes widened. She didn't sound like a beggar now. She sounded like someone who had carried entire worlds on her shoulders. She continued, her voice breaking with pain. "But one day I saw something greater. I saw a darkness moving across the stars. A wave of destruction that no fleet could stop. I warned them, the leaders, the generals, the council. I told them whole colonies would fall if they did not prepare." She paused, her eyes closing as if reliving the memory. "They laughed at me. They called me a liar. They said I wanted power. They silenced me. And when I did not stop speaking, they punished me." Aaron felt a chill run down his spine. He whispered, "What did they do?" Her voice dropped low, trembling. "They took my family, my son. They tore him from me to break my spirit. Then they stripped me of my title, cast me out into the streets, and told the world I was insane. I was left with nothing." A tear slid down her cheek, glistening faintly in the moonlight. For a moment, Aaron forgot the danger outside. He only saw a mother who had lost everything, yet still carried something precious inside her mind. Aaron clenched his fists. "That's not fair. That's cruel." The woman gave a bitter smile. "Truth is often cruel, child. But I held on to it. The map is still here." She tapped her forehead. "Burned into my mind like fire. They could not erase it." Aaron leaned closer. "This map, it can save people." Her eyes sharpened, glowing faintly. "Yes. When the darkness comes, when the wave sweeps across the stars, there will be one safe path. Only I know it, and now, you know of it too." Aaron's breath caught. He was just a boy, yet her words made him feel like the weight of entire worlds had suddenly been placed on his shoulders. He whispered, "But why me?" Her smile softened. "Because you did what no one else did. You saw me. You gave me kindness when the universe turned away. That is why fate placed you here." Before Aaron could reply, the sound of footsteps scraped against stone. The cloaked figures had moved closer to the shop. A voice, low and cold, echoed through the doorway. "You cannot hide, Seer. Give us the map and the boy may live." Aaron froze. His blood turned cold. They knew who she was. They knew he was with her. The woman's hand gripped his arm with surprising strength. "Do not listen. They are liars. They will take me, and then they will kill you. They fear you now because I spoke to you." Aaron's chest tightened. He didn't want to be part of this. He hadn't asked for it, but as he looked into her eyes, he saw not just fear but hope. "Promise me, Aaron," she whispered. "If I fall, you must carry the truth. The stars cannot be left blind." Aaron's lips trembled. I promise." The woman closed her eyes and exhaled, relief softening her wrinkled face. "Then my past was not wasted." The door creaked. Shadows stretched across the broken floor. The hunters were inside now. Aaron's heart pounded. The past she had revealed was heavy, terrifying, and unbelievable. But in that moment, one truth became clear. This old, forgotten stranger was not just a beggar. She was a key to the survival of countless lives. And now, by standing with her, Aaron had become part of her hidden past and her uncertain future. The broken shop fell silent. Aaron's breath caught as the door creaked open. The cloaked hunters stepped inside, their glowing eyes cutting through the shadows. Their boots echoed against the cracked floor, steady and calm, like predators closing in on prey. The old alien woman squeezed Aaron's hand. "Stay close," she whispered. Aaron's heart pounded. He was just a boy. He had no weapon, no plan. But he couldn't abandon her. He peeked over the counter and saw two figures moving toward them. The glow in their eyes was unnatural, cold, almost inhuman. One of the hunters spoke, voice deep and distorted. "Starseer, your time is over. Hand over the map. Do not make us hurt the boy." The woman's face hardened. "They always threaten. Do not believe them," she whispered to Aaron. But Aaron could feel the hunter's presence pressing on him like a heavy storm. He had to act. He spotted a loose metal pipe lying on the floor nearby. Carefully, he reached out, grabbed it, and held it tight. His palms were sweaty, but it was better than nothing. The woman's cloudy eyes glowed faintly. She leaned close to his ear. "There is a back door. When I say run, you run." Aaron's throat tightened. "What about you?" "I will follow," she said. "Trust me." The hunters moved closer. Their shadows stretched across the counter where Aaron and the woman crouched. One of them raised a strange device that hummed with blue light. The woman suddenly slammed her stick against the floor. The loud crack echoed like thunder. "Now, boy?" she cried. Aaron sprang up, swung the pipe wildly to knock over a shelf, and grabbed the woman's arm. Together they dashed toward the back door. The shelf crashed down, blocking the hunters for a moment. "Run," the woman urged. They burst through the back exit into a narrow alley. Cold night air hit Aaron's face as they stumbled forward. Behind them, wood splintered. The hunters were breaking through. The chase began. Aaron's legs pumped as fast as they could. The old woman leaned heavily on him, but somehow she kept up. Her determination was stronger than her weakness. Shouts echoed behind them. The hunters' boots slammed against the stone streets, closing in. Aaron turned a corner, pulling the woman into another alley. But the hunters were fast, too fast. Their glowing eyes appeared at the other end of the street, cutting off the path. "They're everywhere," Aaron gasped. The woman pointed weakly. "Left, the cargo docks." Aaron didn't hesitate. He dragged her left, weaving through dark streets lit only by faint lamps. The smell of oil and smoke grew stronger. The sound of the hunters never stopped. Their steps were steady, never rushed, never tired. Like machines, Aaron's lungs burned. His legs screamed for rest. But when he looked at the woman, he saw the fire in her eyes. She refused to give up. That gave him strength. They reached the edge of the cargo docks. Huge containers were stacked high, cranes towering above. The air was filled with the rumble of ships unloading goods. Aaron pulled her behind a stack of crates. They crouched low, catching their breath. "Why are they so fast?" Aaron whispered. The woman's voice shook. "Because they are not fully alive. They are hunters built for one task, to silence truth." Aaron shivered. That explained the unnatural glow, the way they never tired. Suddenly, a metallic crash rang out. One of the hunters had landed on top of a container, scanning the area. Its glowing eyes swept over the docks. "They'll see us," Aaron whispered. The woman touched his arm. "Listen to me. If we are caught, they will take me. But you must not let them take the crystal." Aaron frowned. "What crystal?" From her robes, she pulled a small, faintly glowing shard. Its light pulsed softly like a heartbeat. She pressed it into his palm. "This holds a piece of the map. If I fall, you must keep it safe." Aaron stared at the shard, then at her.
"I can't." "You must," she said firmly.
"Fate gave it to you." Before Aaron could argue, the hunter on the container spotted them. It raised an arm and pointed. A loud metallic voice boomed, "There! Do not let them escape." The chase exploded again. Aaron stuffed the crystal into his pocket, grabbed the woman, and ran. Hunters leapt from the containers, landing with bone-shaking thuds. Blades of blue energy lit up in their hands. Aaron zigzagged between crates, heart hammering, lungs burning. The woman guided him, pointing weakly toward a small cargo ship being loaded nearby. "There! The freighter! If we reach it, we live." The hunters closed in, their footsteps thunderous. Aaron pushed harder, his body screaming with pain. The freighter's ramp was lowering. "Go!" the woman shouted. With the last of his strength, Aaron pulled her up the ramp. The freighter's engines roared to life. Workers shouted in confusion as the boy and the old alien stumbled aboard. Behind them, the hunters lunged forward, but the ramp lifted, locking them out. Aaron collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath. The woman leaned against the wall, her face pale but her eyes burning with determination. "You did well, child," she whispered. "But this chase, it is only the beginning." Aaron clutched the crystal in his pocket, its faint glow pressing against his skin. He didn't know where the ship was going. He didn't know how far the hunters would follow, but one thing was certain. His life would never be the same. The cargo freighter shuddered as it left Tarvek City's docks. Engines roared, lifting the ship into the dark sky. Aaron lay on the cold metal floor, chest rising and falling as he tried to catch his breath. Beside him, the old alien woman leaned against the wall, her hands trembling but her eyes sharp. For a moment, all he could hear was the deep hum of the freighter's engines. No footsteps, no glowing eyes, no hunters. They had escaped for now. Aaron finally spoke. "Who are those things? What do they want from you?" The woman turned her head slowly, her voice low but steady. "They are shadows of the council. Hunters created to erase what they fear. Their task is simple: silence me and destroy the truth I hold. Aaron frowned. But why? If you really know a safe path, why would they want to stop you? Her lips curled into a bitter smile. Because truth is dangerous. If people knew what I know, they would lose faith in their rulers. They would see the empire for what it truly is: weak, blind, and afraid. Aaron felt a chill. He remembered her words about a wave of destruction, about colonies falling. He leaned forward. Then tell me, what is this darkness? What's coming? The old woman's eyes glistened in the dim light. She lifted a trembling hand to her temple. I saw it. Years ago. A storm moving through the void. Not just an army, not just a weapon. Something far greater. Entire star systems swallowed in silence. Suns dimming. Worlds burning. It moves like a tide across the galaxy. Aaron's breath caught. He wanted to believe it was only a story, but the weight of her words made his chest heavy. She continued, her voice trembling with memory. I warned them. I begged the council to prepare, but they laughed, called me mad. They said the galaxy was eternal, that no tide could drown the stars, and so they cast me out. Her eyes burned suddenly with fire. But I remember what I saw, and I carry the path, a single safe corridor, a way through the tide. Only those who follow it will survive. Aaron's mind spun. So the crystal you gave me, it's part of that map? She nodded. Yes, the crystal carries a fragment. Enough to lead those who trust, but it is not complete. The rest still lives in my mind. Aaron reached into his pocket and pulled out the shard. It glowed faintly in his palm, soft light pulsing like a heartbeat. Why give this to me? I'm just nobody. The old woman's gaze softened. Because you are not nobody. You saw me when all others turned away. That is proof enough. Fate chose you, Aaron. And fate rarely chooses the strong. It chooses the willing. Aaron stared at the glowing shard, feeling its weight in his hand. His stomach twisted. He had only meant to help a stranger in the market, and now he was carrying the key to survival of entire worlds. The woman's voice grew weaker, but sharper too. Listen well. This path I hold, it will be hunted until the end of time. Empires will burn to keep it hidden, but it must not be lost. If I fall, you must guard it. You must carry it forward. Aaron's throat went dry. Me, but I don't even know how to survive out here. I'm just a boy. She leaned closer, her whisper fierce. Every great story begins with someone who thought the same. You will not be alone. The crystal will guide you when the time comes. But you must be brave. Suddenly, the freighter shook violently. Metal groaned, alarms blared. Aaron clutched the shard tightly. What's happening? The woman's eyes narrowed. They followed us. Through a small viewport, Aaron saw it. Dark ships gliding through space, their engines glowing faint blue. The hunters were back, faster than he thought possible. The woman gripped his arm. Do not fear. They cannot stop what has already begun. Aaron stared at her, confused. What do you mean? She closed her eyes, her voice soft but filled with mystery. You were meant to find me. That is the first step. The rest will reveal itself. The freighter jolted again as the hunters' ships closed in. Crew members shouted, scrambling to their stations. Panic spread. Aaron held the shard close, its glow pressing against his skin. For the first time he felt it, not just as an object, but as something alive, something pulsing with purpose. The woman's eyes opened one last time, sharp and commanding. Aaron, remember this, the map is not only a path. It is a key, and when the darkness comes, you will be the one to open the way. Aaron's breath caught. His whole body trembled. He didn't understand fully, but deep inside he knew her words were true. The hunters' ships loomed closer. Alarms screamed. The crew shouted in fear, and Aaron realized the revelation was bigger than he had ever imagined. This was no longer just about saving an old woman. This was about saving the stars themselves. The freighter shook as beams of blue light tore past its hull. Alarms blared. Crew members shouted, scrambling to defend the ship. Through the small viewport, Aaron could see the hunters' vessels, sleek, dark ships, gliding like predators through space. Aaron's chest tightened. They're coming, he cried. The old alien woman did not flinch. Her cloudy eyes glowed faintly as she steadied herself against the wall. They will not stop. But remember what I told you, the path must live even if I do not. Aaron shook his head quickly. No, don't say that. We can both make it out. The woman gave him a sad, almost tender smile. Child, I have already walked most of my road. My steps are few, but yours have only begun. The freighter jolted violently. Sparks burst from the ceiling as crew members shouted for evasive maneuvers. Aaron staggered, clutching the shard in his pocket. Its glow pulsed harder now, like it felt the danger. One of the crew yelled, "Boarders! They're trying to cut through the hull!" Aaron's blood ran cold. The hunters were not just chasing, they were coming inside. The woman grasped his wrist with surprising strength. "Listen, Aaron, you must carry the shard to the hidden core. It is the only place the map can awaken fully." Aaron stared at her. The hidden core. Where is that? Her lips trembled, but her eyes shone with determination. Follow the shard. When the time is right, it will show you. The ship's metal screeched. A section of the wall glowed red-hot as the hunters' cutting tools burned through. Crew scattered in panic. Aaron's heart pounded. This was it. The woman pulled something from her robes, a second shard, brighter, glowing like starlight. She pressed it into Aaron's other hand. 2 pieces now. The rest lives in me. But if I fall, the shards will guide you. Aaron shook his head, tears forming in his eyes. No, you can't. She cupped his cheek with her frail hand. Do not waste tears, child. Heroes are not made by choice. They are made by moments. The wall exploded. Hunters poured inside, their glowing eyes scanning, their weapons raised. The crew screamed as blue energy sliced through metal. The old woman straightened, her weak body suddenly seeming tall, powerful, filled with ancient fire. She raised her staff and the shards in Aaron's hands pulsed brighter, resonating with her. A hunter pointed at her. Starseer, it ends tonight. Her voice rang out, clear and defiant. No, it begins tonight. A wave of energy burst from her, pushing the hunters back for a moment. The crew gasped in shock. Aaron felt the shards in his hands grow hot, vibrating with her power. The hunters roared and surged forward again. The woman turned to Aaron one last time. Run, find the core. Carry the map! Aaron's eyes blurred with tears. I won't leave you. She smiled gently. You already carry me, child, go. And with that, she stepped forward, slamming her staff into the floor. A brilliant light exploded from her body, filling the entire freighter. Hunters screamed as the light swallowed them, their glowing eyes bursting like shattered glass. Aaron shielded his face, the shards in his hands burning bright as stars. When the light faded, silence filled the freighter. The hunters were gone. Only ash and broken metal remained. Aaron blinked, heart racing, and looked around. The old alien woman was lying on the floor, her staff cracked beside her. Her chest rose and fell weakly. He dropped to his knees beside her. No, please. Stay with me. Her hand reached for his. She placed it gently over the shards. The map is safe now. You are safe. That is enough. Aaron's tears fell onto her worn skin. But I don't know what to do. I can't do this alone. Her lips curled into the faintest smile. You will not be alone. The stars will guide you. And one day, you will guide others. Her hand went still. Her eyes closed, soft and peaceful. The glow in her body faded. Aaron's chest ached as if the whole galaxy had collapsed inside him. He clutched the shards tightly, their glow steady, alive. Crew members gathered around, whispering in awe. They looked at Aaron differently now, not as a boy, but as someone carrying something far greater. He rose slowly, the shards glowing in his hands. His voice trembled, but his words were firm. She gave her life so this path could live. I won't let it die. Through the viewport, the endless stars stretched before him. Somewhere out there, the hidden core awaited. Somewhere out there, the truth she carried still burned. Aaron wiped his tears and took a deep breath. He was no longer just a boy who helped a stranger in the market. He was the keeper of her legacy, and the fate of the stars now rested in his hands.